I'm going to share a personal story for me. I was a president of a large financial service industry company. This was a few years back, and I created my own personal mission. My personal mission to share with the world is to empower others to step into their light. That's my personal mission. It's very personal to me. That inspires the crap out of me. It directs me. It informs me. It gives me peace. And whenever I'm struggling, I can always go back to that true north. How am I empowering others to step into their light? So I'm on a bike ride, a little pedal bike, with spandex at 5 a.m. on a training ride.
Wait just a second. Everyone, don't let Jared fool you here. This guy's a biker. I mean, he's been an athlete since the day he came out of the womb. But I mean, we're not talking a kind of biker. This guy is a biker. So yeah, go off with your spandex story.
Yeah, I'm more into the spandex than the biking part of this story. But long story short, I'm on a training ride in the morning, and this idea pops into my mind. Now, this is straight up during COVID, right? You remember how bad it got. Everything closed down, no flying, no driving, no nothing. Like, you're in your state, Walmart shops, like everything's empty. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Pure chaos. And the idea came to my mind. Because I'm in alignment with mission, it came to my mind. Light bulb, enlighten the world, riding my bike, and it was crazy. And I just knew it, man. It felt like the hair stood up on the back of my neck, probably like it is while I'm telling this story. And I immediately knew that I needed to ride my bike from Boise, Idaho, through every single office, all the way to the north of Idaho, all the way over to Eugene, Oregon. It was 1,250 miles. My sole purpose was so clear. It was to empower others to step into their light. The tour was called Enlighten the World Tour, 20, whatever the year was. I can't even remember.
Oh, by the way, for our listeners right now, if they haven't connected this dot, let me be very blunt. You're talking about the world was shut down. Most people are like, this is sweet. I'm going to bunker down in my home. And, this is Jared Larson. He's still found a way to be sensitive to all amongst the COVID thing by being socially responsible. But the guy gets on his bike and takes off. He found a way to be socially responsible and get out in the world.
Yeah. And you just can't cheat in life. Like, I know that I started from my neighborhood park. That's where I started. A lot of people came and they showed up, and I went off. And this is the power of mission. One, it was impossible for me to do it. I'm running a company. I'm running an organization. I have day-to-day business. I have to now ride 60 to 80 miles a day for the next 17, 21 days. Everyone told me it's impossible, right? And the reality was, if I think that way, it's impossible. But when you're propelled by something bigger than self, when you're propelled by something that truly identifies with at the very core of who you are, it becomes simple, or maybe not simple, but you find ways through it. So I took off on that journey, and along the way, I interviewed people and individuals and said, ask one question, tell me your story. And these people would talk. And it was in that critical period of COVID where people were struggling, and I was able to just capture stories. And the reality is, while I went on that journey thinking that it would be for other people, what I really learned is that journey was more about who I was becoming. And I learned way more about myself than I ever did. So in my pursuit of empowering others to step into their light, my mission, I grew and became a whole different person. And I hope that you can relate that to business. If you have a real mission, if you have a real vision, then when you start going on the journey, your company, your team, you as an individual will transform yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And, one thing that you added that I'd like to kind of, bring up as well is this idea around, you didn't have just a mission and vision for your business. You have a personal one. And one of the things that Jared encouraged us to do, and I absolutely love it, is we have a personal mission for each one of our employees that come on board. And when you go around our office, you don't see Matt Walker, CEO.
Yeah.
You see Matt Walker with my mission. And you see Gina Fuller with her mission, Jeff Tupper with her mission. You see the various employees that we have at our office and their mission. And it's interesting when you look at that name tag and you read their personal mission, you don't view it as like assistant. You view them as a human being. So, mine, Jared helped me with this to get this, because it's hard to get your own mission. But mine is to enthusiastically build with love and purpose. And I think about that in every aspect of my life. I mean, what we're doing right now is building relationships with people. And I'm doing it because I have the enthusiasm of what success brings to people. And I love that I am doing it in my own personal practice where I'm building relationships with the customers that I have, but I also want to bring this to agents and advisors all over the country. And and then my own personal family. So you can build relationships. I love the idea of building businesses. I'm sure as time goes on and we talk more, we'll talk about my stories of how I built businesses and what I've done, exited, sold some of them. Selling a business in the financial service industry is tough, and found ways to actually even accomplish that. And so those are things that, I think about what drives me even to this day, because, I spend still about 1 to 2 days in my personal practice. And Monday, I'm going to be in there in my meeting, and what's making me excited is how am I going to continue that building, that enthusiastically with love and purpose? What's my purpose that I'm building in that building? So it changes it. I no longer think about growing my practice.
Yeah.
I'm building relationships. I'm building people up. I'm developing, all those things. And then the company has its own as well. And you merge those two together, man, you've got all the motivation you need. And I'll tell you one other thing too. I always talk about the stresses that happen in our business. It's because so much of it is eat what you killed. Or if you're an employee, it's these sales goals you have to hit. Or if you're a business owner, that people aren't selling enough, that leads are too expensive, or whatever it may be in this business. When you have mission and purpose and vision and all those things, what I've also found is you don't have time to think about what's not working because you're so energized to build what is. And that attitude of confidence, man, it's palpable. Your customers feel it. Your employees feel it. Everyone feels around you. And you want to talk about a leader? People jump on positive leaders. And that's how they do it. They've got that vision and mission that's so clear.